After a short break, MLS returned on Wednesday with a bang. Seattle became the first team in the league's history to overturn a 3-goal deficit in 90 minutes when they beat DC United. They were back at CenturyLink Field taking on the San Jose Earthquakes. And New York City came within seconds of taking down Toronto FC at Yankee Stadium midweek. They faced the other team ahead of them in the East, the Chicago Fire, which is where we start. How do you stop David Villa? Can you contain Nemanja Nikolic? And they're not the only danger men. Two of the most potent teams in MLS, as NYCFC took on the Chicago Fire. Matt Jackson and Dan Roebuck have the call.
Schweinsteiger's been mugged there, and then Nichanis comes in rather late. What's the referee going to do here? He's not given the penalty.
Just can't see how the referee determines that he's played the ball.
I might get a yellow card for this. He will get a yellow card for it. Now then, this is Herrera again.
You've got to book him. If you're booking him for the first one, you've got to book him for the second. Yeah, you've got to.
Well, barely 11 minutes old. NYCFC v Chicago Fire. It is 10 versus 11.
Stupid. I mean, just stupid individual thought process.
This is Kapelov from distance. Daisy cutter takes a deflection, flicked over by Sean Johnson, who must have seen that late.
Yes, he did. Reacted really well. It does come at a good height for him.
Lewis does well. Villa with a snapshot, he's gone in! Well, potentially, Lampson was unsighted there, but David Villa with a clinical strike once again, and within 2 minutes of the restart, NYCFC lead Chicago Fire by a 1-0. Kopanovic has selected David Villa in his all-star squad. In comes the free kick. It's fair delivery, terrific stop, but he might be bundled home. It is! Briand, brave. And from just 2 yards out, he may well need some treatment here. But after a stunning stop initially from Lampson, the Chicago Fire keeper has been beaten again inside the opening 5 minutes of this second half. Whipped in swinger, cleared away. Morales loses possession momentarily and for a second time, then looks to win it back. He ricochets back, hits the crossbar, and then Deleu with a header! Chicago Fire have managed to pull one back, and it's Michael Deleu who reacts quickest this time around, and he's game on once again for Veljko Panovic's side.
I actually think the first one might well be in. Yeah, clearly over the line.
David Akan has put Chicago Fire back in the running. David Villa chips it forward, still going, low ball in, must be another! Oh, how is it not another? Callens and Okoli both went for it. Callens got there, should have been 3. Juninho with a strike, goes in the post, and then a follow-up. Chicago Fire so close to a late leveller. It's finished here. New York City FC 2, Chicago Fire 1.
The Supporter Shield leaders welcomed a Colorado team that had yet to collect a single point on the road this season. And the pattern looked like it would continue for the Rapids when, after only 5 minutes, Toronto took the lead. Sebastian Giovinco's cross eventually turned in by Jay Chapman for his first MLS goal. 5 minutes from the end of the first half, Giovinco almost added a second. Zach McMath keeping the Italian from adding to his 9 MLS goals in 2017. Within the first 30 seconds of the second half, TFC should have made it 2-0. Chapman just couldn't find the control and skied it over the bar. It was a miss that would ultimately prove costly for Toronto. With 15 minutes to go, Dominic Baji found a way through for Colorado. His 6th MLS goal of the season secured the Rapids their first point on the road in more than 9 months. The opening salvo of a southern rivalry between Orlando City and Atlanta United was fired by the MLS newcomers by way of an interstate billboard paid for by Atlanta, which told the home team that United was coming to conquer. Brad Guzan made his Atlanta debut and made an excellent save to deny Jonathan Spector just before halftime. It was the same story in the second half when Spector again got his head to a set piece and Guzan again kept it out. Just when it looked like a good game was coming to a disappointing end, though, Atlanta did conquer and made sure of a 4th MLS win in a row. A stunner from Hector Villalba. No chance at all for Joe Bendik. They won't have to wait long for a rematch as the budding rivals meet again this coming weekend in the ATL. Fans of Minnesota United have had little to cheer of late, and the visiting New York Red Bulls were in no mood to oblige them. Fresh from scoring 2 late goals in a 5-1 thrashing of San Jose, Daniel Royer gave the Red Bulls a 16th-minute lead. Minnesota hadn't scored since being beaten by the Red Bulls' New York rivals NYCFC last month. This miss by Miguel Ibarra summed up their recent goal drought. Midway through the second half, Ibarra felt he should have had a penalty for a challenge by substitute Michael Murillo. But while Ibarra's protests fell on deaf ears, the Red Bulls would take full advantage and silence the home crowd. Royer released Bradley Wright Phillips, who hit Minnesota with a sucker punch. Loons coach Adrian Heath left frustrated as BWP made it into double digits in goals for the 4th season in a row. Minnesota could hardly put their predicament down to misfortune. Ibarra presented Kevin Molino with a good chance to haul them back into the game late on. But in the 90th minute, the Loons' misery was complete. Alex Muil with a thumping finish. The Red Bulls' 3rd straight win on the road, and another signal to the rest of the league that they are back in business. Both the New England Revolution and the LA Galaxy are in real danger of missing out on the postseason. The Revs had lost their last 4 league games. The Galaxy were in the same position. A chance to get back on track at Gillette Stadium. Mike Sewell was your commentator for this one.
Giovanni reaches out to Kai Kamara, who has an eye for goal here, and it goes over Brian Rowe, but lands on the roof of the LA Galaxy net. Good vision from Kai Kamara. It almost paid off. Forward. Kellen Rowe. Across to cover. Rowe goes down. Referee plays the advantage. Here's Lee Wynn. And it's in. The New England Revolution take the lead. Lee Wynn will claim it. Van Dam looks to have fouled Rowe. Referee played the advantage. Wynn's shot deflected in off Daniel Steris. See it. Out to Alessandrini. Still with Alessandrini. Up goes Steris, who equalises for the LA Galaxy. Well, no one will be happier than him after the deflection that gave New England the lead. Daniel Steris with a powerful header. Clear. It's Fagundes, the New England Revolution. Kamara to his right. Kai Kamara in here with a chance to score, and he does. Rowe doesn't keep it out. And the Revs retake the lead. This is a tight call. The official got it absolutely spot on. Kamara was onside. Giovanni. Space to get the cross in. Bromley with the header. And Steris follows up. It's another goal for the defender.
Daniel Steres makes it 2-2. Romney headed it down. Good save by the goalkeeper, Knighton. He couldn't keep out the rebound. Fagundes. Forward to the substitute, Bunbury. Rowe for support out wide. Bunbury then charging through the middle. Rowe looked towards him. Teal Bunbury! 5 minutes after coming on, the substitute has put New England back in front. He released the ball to Rowe and then made a terrific run down the middle. Time to perfection. Fagundes in short to Kamara. Great footwork from the big man. And Rowe to his right. Also wide is Farrell. Puts it back. Bunbury! It's another goal for the substitute. And it's a 2-goal advantage for the New England Revolution. Kamara made the opportunity, Farrell then cut it back, and Bunbury calmly side-footed home. Alessandrini to take on the New England defence, still with Alessandrini. Kept out initially, Lassiter! The LA Galaxy have scored a third. New England Revolution 4, LA Galaxy 3.
These 3 points are huge. It's not, you know, we still have a lot of games to go, and we got to make sure we keep these, you know, performances going, you know. So that's an important key for us, is to make sure we capitalize with this win and keep moving forward.
Still to come, we head to Canada for the Cascadia clash between the Vancouver Whitecaps and the Portland Timbers. Vancouver has dominated the Pacific Northwest in recent years, winning 3 of the last 4 Cascadia Cups. But they've had to watch on as their rivals from Seattle and Portland have gone on to lift the MLS Cup. Portland drew first blood this year when the pair met at Providence Park in April. The key man that day, Darlington Nagbe, was unavailable for this one after joining up with the U.S. men's national team. And they were further depleted by suspension after their joint top scorer, Fernando Adi, was sent off in a midweek loss to Real Salt Lake. The Cascadia trio all went into the weekend's matches level on 27 points, knowing a win would strengthen their playoff hopes. Commentary on this one from David Phillips and Dave Farrar.
Now it's Blanco with a chance to hit it, but he plays it wide instead for Asprilla. Plays it across! Well, would you believe it? The Timbers have the lead, depleted they may be. Huge moment for them, and maybe the tide is starting to turn in Portland's favour. Osted beaten by Jeremy Ibobise. A first MLS start, a first MLS goal, and it's the dream start for the Timbers. Floats it in deep, fantastic save by Gleeson. Charney with the header. Gleeson did really well to claw that away.
And here we see the header coming in. There's the reactions from Gleeson. Saw it very late.
In it comes again, and this time they have the equaliser. Parker met it at the near post. Jacobson at the far. They're going to have to debate whose goal it is. Vancouver are level, and it is Jacobson's goal here. Yeah, right on the line, and well worked by Vancouver.
Excellent delivery on from Bolaños, and all it is a little tap into an empty net.
There's still life in Portland here. Ibobise with a clever touch. Blanco with the goal. The Whitecaps went to sleep, and Portland are back in front. Sebastian Blanco.
Full credit to Portland. They've come out in the second half, not dispirited, because they've gone in at 1 each, right on the stroke of half-time. And that's an excellent response from the Timbers.
Goal number 4 of the season. Blanco in his first year with the Timbers. It's going pretty well for him. And it goes from Teixeira. Header was by Chara. Let's be careful here, the Timbers. Oh, and it falls for Shea. Really good hit. Equally good save by Gleeson. Nothing good about that from Laba.
Brek Shea does really well, swivels. And once again, great reaction save from Gleeson.
Decent ball from Bolaños, another good save by Gleeson. Parker with the header that time. It finishes at BC Place, Vancouver 1, Portland 2.
This is one of these moments, you know, that reminds you as a coach why you roll up your sleeves and go to war every single day, and I thought we were deserved, you know, winners today.
MLS Cup holders Seattle, the third of the Cascadia trio, played host to the San Jose Earthquakes, who, having conceded 9 goals in their last 2 away games, started brightly. Chris Wondolowski testing Sounders goalkeeper Stefan Fry after only 2 minutes of play. In the absence of key players like Clint Dempsey, Nicholas Ladero, Jordan Morris, and Osvaldo Alonso, Cristian Roldan took center stage for Seattle and started by opening the scoring 9 minutes into the second half. Another long throw by new signing Kelvin Leerdam wasn't dealt with by San Jose, who allowed Roldan a path to goal barely 2 minutes later. Having been the launchpad for the first 2 goals, Leerdam then appeared at the back post to score his first MLS goal on his full debut for the Sounders. With 11 minutes left, Roldan was put through for the chance to complete his hat-trick. He went as close as he possibly could to capping a fine performance for Brian Schmetzer's team, who nonetheless thoroughly deserved their win. After a confidence-boosting win against the Philadelphia Union last time out, Mauro Biello's Montreal Impact hosted a talented FC Dallas team that had only been beaten 3 times in the league this season. And the visitors thought they had the lead halfway through the first half. A first MLS goal for Christian Coleman, or not. The referee didn't award the goal when Daniel Lovett seemingly cleared the ball from behind the line. Video review comes in a couple of weeks and will hopefully put a stop to this kind of thing. To rub salt in a pretty open wound, Montreal did get a goal of their own moments later. Michael Salazar scoring in his 3rd consecutive game, this time putting his head to good use. But after halftime, Coleman put a sense of injustice to the side and put his stamp on the game. 7 minutes into the second half, he scored the equalizer from Maxi Urruti's cross. And Coleman wasn't finished there. It had taken the Paraguayan until his 14th appearance to grab a first goal in MLS, and he followed that with a second, running onto Carlos Guerrezo's through ball and calmly going around Evan Bush to win the game for Dallas and banish the memory of that first half goal that never was. The weather in the U.S. capital sums up the season DC United has had so far, and 6 minutes in at home against Houston, there didn't appear to be any signs of things brightening up. Andrew Wenger stooping to head the Dynamo in front. Houston's road woes have been in complete contrast to their commanding performances at home, but here they were taking advantage of a clearly fragile DC United defense, one which conceded again in the 15th minute to Mauro Manotas. Roll on 84 seconds, and the Black and Red's backline was breached again. Wenger turned provider to set up the loosely marked Memo Rodriguez for number 3. DC United had now conceded 7 unanswered goals across 2 games in a combined 56 minutes of playing time. Despite their plight, the home team wasn't short of chances of their own, but last-ditch defending by Houston denied Ben Olsen's side a way back into the game before halftime. They only had themselves to blame in the second half. Luciano Acosta culpable for this missed opportunity shortly before the hour mark. A few minutes later, DC United were offered hope by former Houston defender Bobby Boswell, who made it 3-1. But it didn't stop Wilmer Cabrera's Dynamo from winning their first MLS game on the road in 2017. Real Salt Lake had won their last 2 games by an aggregate score of 10-3, so they must have been full of confidence ahead of a visit from a still depleted Sporting Kansas City. 4 minutes before halftime, RSL came close to grabbing the lead. Uruguayan center back Marcelo Silva on his MLS debut, hitting the post with a header. Peter Vermes knew that his team was defensively stretched, and they were exposed again a minute later. Joao Plata running into space and pulling back for Luis Silva, who scored his first MLS goal in 27 months. Closing in on the hour mark, though, RSL gave the ball away and gifted Sporting Kansas City an equalizer. Benny Feilhaber pouncing, and Marcelo Silva following that first half miss with a clumsy challenge inside the penalty area. The referee with a fairly simple decision to award the penalty kick, which Feilhaber converted for his 3rd goal of the season. After Marcelo's mistake, his namesake Luis very nearly provided a silver lining for RSL, coming as close as you can to scoring without scoring. Real Salt Lake coach Mike Petke was sent off less than 20 minutes from the end of an ill-tempered game that somehow finished 1-1. This was the first of back-to-back MLS meetings between Columbus and Philadelphia in the span of 4 days. And with Union coach Jim Curtin short on numbers, Crew SC looked to take advantage. Ola Kamara denied from close range early on. Justin Meram had scored 8 MLS goals this season before being credited with the one which gave Columbus a 65th minute lead. This despite his tame effort taking a wicked deflection off Joshua Yarrow. Meram almost made it 2-0, but a double save by John McCarthy delayed him from reaching double figures in goals for what would be the first time in his MLS career. Crew SC win Part 1, ahead of the return meeting in Philadelphia. So Columbus moves back into the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference, with Orlando City dropping below the line after that home loss to Atlanta, and the bottom 4 in the East are now 5 points adrift from the rest. FC Dallas leapfrogs Sporting Kansas City to go to the top of the Western Conference standings. Houston's first road win of the season keeps them in 3rd. Not one of the bottom 6 were able to record a victory, as Minnesota remains in last place. Opening their accounts, we leave you with the 5 players who scored their first ever MLS goal this past weekend. I'm Russ Thaler. Until next time.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.